Is the first time I'm going to be streaming this game. Hopefully it's not going to be the last, as I do very much enjoy it. We're just going to get right in. This is the Sentinel character. He will eventually become... Well, I haven't decided on what specialization I'm going to turn him into once we get to that point. But I do know what ability I'm going to be using. As is classic in many ARPGs, it's basically a tradition by now. You need a spin skill. You spin, you hit things, you kill things whilst moving. They've always been good, even since Diablo 2 with the Cyclone Barbarian. So why not give it another go in Last Epoch? Now, this is the only character with a spin ability. In this one, it is called... Whereabouts is it? Called Warpath, and we actually get it at level 2. So you can go pretty much immediately into warpathing. Now, it does cost mana every second, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is grabbing less mana per second, and then more area, and then I'm just going to go straight into damage. There are a couple of things in here which are excellent, like when you end your spin, it does a very large slash. Down here, you can turn it into a fire ability, which does more spell bonuses. Here you get some global leech. This is sort of your two-handed line, where you get more bonuses for just doing two-handed. You can get some block chance while spinning, some flat void damage while spinning. And I'm tempted to go void spin, to be quite honest. It very much does interest me, but I feel like it's going to be heavy on the damage. So, let's get going, and we're just going to fight level, and here we go. We've got the spin ability. Now, it doesn't do a whole lot to start with, and it does drain our mana quite hard, so we may not be able to use it really against harder enemies until we have a better weapon. Now, I'm probably going to go full two-handed. First magic enemy we've got in the game. And as you can see, we're just spinning right around. It wasn't able to hit us right until we ran out of mana. Keep going, keep spinning. The nice thing is, it's a very large AoE ability, so it lets us just shred through groups of enemies like that. I think less mana and flat damage is going to be the best thing. There's something which I'm going to do as well. I'm going to read over the tooltip to let you guys know. So it's a physical skill, melee, area, channeled, movement, and strength. So it means we just really need to focus on strength, anything to do with movement bonuses, anything to do with physical bonuses for now. And this here, there's some more story. I think we do a bit more damage to this with our just standard sword swing. This is called Vengeance. It basically means when we get hit, it retaliates as long as we've hit them once with it. And we've unlocked Hammer Throw. This class can sort of be summarized with some of the abilities being a mix between Paladin and Barbarian from Diablo 2. So this is Grail. He's a bit funny looking, I'll be honest. And he's going to help us get through this area. So we've leveled up so we can pick our abilities from our standard skill tree. This is the Sentinel skill tree. And you've got Forge, Guard, Paladin, and Void Knight. We can't put any points into here until we've unlocked one of these classes. Then you can put points into any of them. The first thing I'm going to do, so Strength will scale all of our damage. This will scale our physical damage because of Retribution when we get hit. That's more percentage damage, increased recovery speed, That's health and block chance. So I am going to put my first point into Juggernaut, just so we're a bit tankier. Let's keep it going. Hammer skill. Okay. The hammer, I think, does the most damage right now as well. Yeah, because it comes back. So we're going to use this for a bit. At least until we get to our specialization. Which, as if on cue, we've got. Alright. And we also leveled up. Okay. Let's hammer this Phoenix down. And let's pick our first skill. And that's clearly going to be Warpath. The first thing I'm going to do is pick up this flat melee damage. Hopefully we can get a two-handed weapon soon. Because if you didn't notice, underneath this skill here, it doubles the void damage we get with a two-handed. Means instead of getting 5 flat and doing what would be 15, we're going to be doing 20, so it would double our damage, not including what the two-handed weapon would give us as a base. Because this is only 10 flat melee damage as a sword. And here we go. The first boss. He's got his own spin move. Ours is a little bit better, I hope. Grail is freezing him. Grail does more damage than we do at this point. Now, this class is a little bit slow to start with, especially as we've gotten no loot from all of that. I may have had my ground tooltips off, so that would explain why I didn't see any loot drop during all of that. But that is okay. We've got a little bit of gold. We've got 195. Go talk to Grail here. Basically, there are keepers. They need protection. They've called everyone here for a big war meeting. So let's go find this merchant. Going to be over here is the lovely little armor icon up in the top right. And the first weapon. Okay. Got a two-handed sword, a two-handed axe, spears, as well as a mace. The sword swings faster, so I am going to buy that. Although these give us a little bit more crit chance, and that's a flat percentage crit chance, I believe. So what I may do is buy this one. And we'll spin with a spear for now. So that has taken our warpath from 30 damage to 71 damage a second. We can't spin in town. I'm going to sell our sword and shield. Now, I don't have any block chance now, but I'm going to buy this pair of boots. And I'm going to buy this amulet, which is going to give us some more attack speed. As well as a better belt, so I can hold a few more potion slots. And that's going to be it from that merchant, as they've got nothing else for us now. So we're going to go up here, grab the next quest, and we're just going to go jump straight into the next area. And that's the Fortress Gardens. Hopefully we're going to find some better loot. And yeah, we're just going to run through this act, level up, and try and get to the end game. This fella here. So we're only doing around 5 to 6. Oh, there we go. Higher damage. Seems they take less damage whilst they're still in the ground. We're doing a nice chunky bit of damage in AoE. Alright. So the next point I'm going to put is in less mana. And then we're just going to scale between damage and mana until it's free. Yeah, so it swings quite fast. And we are getting crits. Every time we see a yellow number pop up, that means we've crit that particular enemy. And it crits per enemy that you spin through. So it's not this spin crits, it's this particular enemy gets crit by the spin. It's not the strongest single target, but it will get better. So I'm going to pick this up. This game has a very interesting crafting system, and it's probably one of the best I've found in ARPGs, because it feels fair, but it keeps that sort of gambling sense, if that makes any sense. Effectively, you can break down items and get runes off of them. You can then use those runes and the shards to put those abilities on other items. So the sword which I just picked up had some flat void damage on it. If I get one of those runes to drop, I can break that weapon, get that shard for melee void damage, and I could potentially put it on my spear. I'm probably not going to do that, just because the damage of this spear is not particularly high. And we've gotten our third ability that we're really going to be using, which is Rive. Because this does a nice cleaving swipe. Oh, those hit hard. We've got a Marauder's Hatchet, which is one-handed, a Dark Club with more void damage, and a Staff. We'll pick those up. That's the next area we're going to go to. But I'm going to come over here and kill these mobs first. Oh, and we've got a Marauder's Bastard Sword. So that is increased physical damage on a greatsword. I may swap the spear to that. Yeah, that puts us at 104 spin damage. Also leveled up, so I'm going to pick up one more flat physical damage from my skill tree. And here we go. Yeah, now we're doing the 20s. 20 to 30 damage a hit. So this character can also potentially go as a full caster. I've done a few runs with him. Yeah, unfortunately the Whirlwind ability Warpath takes a fair bit to get going properly. It would probably be smarter of me to level with Rive, just because it is such a good ability. I think it actually hits faster. Although, I'm not sure. I think it's just because it keeps running out of mana. Feels a little bit slower. Oh, getting hit by a lot of fire damage there. And we got some of the same armor which we're already wearing. They're not particularly great. That's a portal. And we're going to come down here, talk to this guy. He's going to tell us to go to a specific spot. And we're level 6. Okay, let's come down and go into these storerooms. That's that fella dealt with. Alright, we're leveled up again. I'm going to put one into strength and one into physical damage. We're going to keep going. Alright. Got a little bit of a ranged ability still. I think I'm going to save the warpath for larger groups of enemies like this, because it's the largest AoE I've got right now. Oh, we got a Shrine of Haste, so that is going to make us a lot faster, and also hit a lot faster. There we go. I'm going to put one more point into damage. Oh, there we go. That does a lot more. Because we're gaining 10 every time I put into that, because we're using a two-handed weapon. I may also grab this. So this is Armor Shred, and what Armor Shred does is it reduces enemy armor, so they take more damage. And it also can go below 0, so it sort of becomes... if you've played Path of Exile, it becomes sort of like negative resistance. And then I'm probably going to pick up Giant Splitter, because that means that when we end our spin, it will do a high damage attack. Although later on, I don't plan on ever really stopping spinning. So, we have here one of those big golem things. That's another boss fight. We're chunking him down. And we got him. So these are the shards which I was talking about. So we've got one that gives us intelligence and one that gives us more armor. We also have a later level axe, which is quite nice. I have no runes to break anything down with yet. So we're going to finish this area. And then once we get back to town, I may do a little bit of crafting, depending on if I've got any of those abilities yet. So we level up again. I'm going to put that into the strength, because that scales up percentage damage of Warpath as well. Also scales percentage damage off our other abilities. So I've also got something called Rebuke. I'm going to be using that instead of Vengeance. Rebuke is a shield. So if I can't dodge something, or if I know I'm not going to get out of the way in time, I can hit that and basically pop myself a little bubble and hopefully tank through it. And then whatever damage it takes, it actually does an additional flat 20 damage per hit in a burst around me. So here we go. I can take some points into these. I'm going to put points into Armor Clad, because that will actually reduce our damage percentage-wise off enemies in our area. 2% now, but if I max that out, it's 10%. Taking 10% less damage from all enemies around you is pretty good. Oh, we got another one of those big forge golems. So this, I think, actually, if I wait for him to do that spin move again. Pop that bubble. We're going to take a few hits off him. Yeah, didn't do a whole lot. Let's spin him down. Got another refuge axe, a charge, and a jade ring. I'm going to put that ring on, get a little bit of dodge going. And here we talk to this fella. And then we get attacked. There goes the roof. Here come the bird people. So the long story of this game is this part, you're fighting bird people, because they're here to fight us on behalf of their god to get the thing this fella's keeping, which is called the Epoch. Oh, and we have a boss. Yep, let's track him down. He's killed the two guards that we were with. That's fine. We're all we need. Oh, there you go. That was what I was hoping that would do to the siege golem. He just took 250 damage from that rebuke. Where is that weapon I just picked up? Oh no, it was this Jade Amulet Reflection. So that gives us 12% more attack speed instead of the 6 I have off this white one. We picked up a shield. Sadly, we're a two-hander. He tells us let's go. That's pretty much it. Alright, falling down. Oh, and we got a blue mob. This follows the standard sort of naming convention of other games. So blue mobs are magical, yellow mobs are rare, and then, well, what would be orange mobs just have their own unique sort of presence. That makes sense. You've unlocked Shield Bash. That's a stun if you have a shield, which we don't. I'm going the wrong way. There's an altar that increases our stunning potential here. We leveled up again. I'm going to put some more points in Armor Clad. And we found some gloves that gives a bit more armor. Added health. Very nice. Oh, and here we go. So this here, these... I thought I picked up another one. Clearly not. This is called a relic. What this does, it's sort of an additional item slot. They have some unique things on. So what this does for us, gives us more armor, a bit of void resistance. Cast speed and throwing damage are useless to us right now. But the fire resistance is quite nice because we are fighting, well, fire-based enemies. If I come down here, there's a couple of more. And a bunch of pots that I can break. Only got 2 gold out of that, so probably not worth the time and effort just spent there. I keep saying whirlwind. Our warpath is doing pretty well. Oh, that's a forest axe. That has a blind on hit. Not too useful to us because this sword is pretty good with its bonus physical damage. And that there is a Glyph of Hope. So that's one of the crafting items. That lets us have a 25% chance to not cause damage to the item we're crafting on. We're just going to kill our way through more bird people. Get out of this weird, very circular temple. Got another jade ring. I'm going to put that on the other finger. Now we have a bit of dodge rating with an 11% chance to dodge enemies of our current level. Alright. That's that ambush foiled. More enemies down here. That's a brass amulet. That's more of a casting character's amulet. Not that you can't go spellcaster with this guy. Some of the abilities he gets from his later and his, I want to say prestige class specializations, they're actually spells. And funnily enough, so is Rebuke. So Rebuke here is classed as a spell. None of the other ones that we have so far are. The level 20 ability that we get, which is Smite, is sort of a bolt from the sky. That is a spell. Most of the Void Knight things count as spells. Forge Guard stuff, some of this counts as spells. And of course, a lot of the Paladin stuff counts as spells. Alright, we're out of the temple, we're on the northern road. Let's keep going. Well, no enemies in this bit so far. Like a bit of an arena we would be doing some fighting in. They may have changed their mind. There's a lot of lore notes as well, and if you do pick up this game, I highly recommend. I'm going to watch this. I don't know why we can't just attack that thing whilst it was doing that, but it is what it is. The old man's got grabbed, even though we rescued him from inside. We're going to go back to the camp, and then we're going to mount a full-on assault and rescue him. So, first things first, we're going to come up and talk to this fella. We're going to sell all of these items that we picked up from that little run. Transfer crafting items. There is a stash that you can just transfer into at any point. This is that rune of shattering, and that is what would break one of those items. So I'm going to take a look and see if any of these weapons are any better for us. It's a big two-handed mace with crit strike percentage. That right there is what I was hoping to see. 29 physical damage plus a flat 13 and increased percentage physical damage. I don't think any of these are going to be much better. That puts our warpath straight up to 219, where we are around 110, 120. I'm going to buy this better armor. My character's gone shirtless for a second. There isn't really much else that I want to buy here. So I'm going to stick this armor in our crafting, because what I found was an armor shard. I'm going to attach that. A health shard, I'm going to attach that. I've got a body armor that now gives me even more flat armor and some flat health. And I am carrying a very big stick. Spikes on it. So, fella was kidnapped. I'm going to go this way and we're going to rescue him. And we've just leveled up. Put that in armor clad so we take even less damage from enemies. Because when we level up Warpath, we're going to be getting more flat damage and less mana usage on that. So I don't need to worry really too much about picking up damage in my skill tree for now. There we go. We're doing 40 and 50 damage per hit with spin. That's real good. And we have just unlocked our second skill specialization. So I'm going to talk for a second on what skill specialization is, just in case you're watching this video later or you just have never played this sort of a game before. So these are all of our skills. Probably a bad place to do it. So these are all of our skills. And the way the game works is that you get to pick 5 of them to specialize in, and every skill has its own skill tree to customize it and make it more flexible. Obviously, Warpath is the one we're going to be focusing on. I almost have another point to reduce its mana cost even more. The second skill, which I am tempted to pick up, is Rebuke, just because it is a very good shield, and we can also use it to regain mana, at least a little bit faster. We can also make it heal us. We can get mana when we're hit. We can make it do fire in an area. We can make it give us a buff as well. So it can actually be pretty useful, although it's not It's not what most people would generally pick up when they go for Sentinel. I like using it because I like having a nice defensive ability. So I'm not really going to bother with damage because it's not our damaging skill. I'm going to specialize in it. And what I want to do, I do want to go down here and pick up Void Fused Barrier, because that means when we get, I think it's when we get hit or hit an enemy with Rebuke, it would then give us increased damage as a percentage essence. Down here gives us healing, a lot of healing, actually, surprisingly. This gives us increased mana regen. This up here increases the duration, and this gives us mana when we're hit. This reduces the damage we take more, and then gives us a speed buff as well once it ends. So we can actually use it on an offensive level too. So I'm going to pick up mana regen, just because I know our warpath is a little bit mana hungry. I'm going to pick up one more point in armor clad, and then that'll be all 5 points in armor clad that we really need. Then I'm going to focus on maxing out Overwhelm, Juggernaut. Then I'm going to pick up 1 point in Fearless here, and then go to Stalwart for that flat block chance. And that flat block chance is global, so we doesn't matter what weapon we're using, we will have flat block chance. This skill here means we would get health and mana every time we hit with Rive, Vengeance, Smite, or Multi-Strike. The downside is we're not going to be using any of those abilities. Then later on you can get dual wielding, you can throw an axe every time you hit, and then these ones down here. The top one is sword and axe attack and cast speed bonuses, quite a lot actually. And then below you've got mace and scepter flat damage increases, also quite a lot. But that would require a lot of points into Sentinel. So picked up the portal. We're just going to keep spinning. Oh, that's a rare mob. Drops us some rare loot. Pick both of those up. So we've got 2 quest markers because we've got 2 sort of side quests they want us to do. So we're going to go over and do the blue one first. That's the side quest. Oh, we've just had a unique pair of gloves drop. I'm going to look at those in just a second. So these are Stormhide Paws. They give us +1 to swipe. Every 3 seconds, swipe is 100% of its base damage, convert to lightning, and it does 40 plus melee lightning damage. There's a little bit of good news and a little bit of bad news with this pair of gloves. We don't have the swipe ability. That belongs to another class called the Primalist, but this gives us a lot of bonus health, some bonus attributes, and some cold resistance. So we're still going to use it for now, as it's better than our plain white pair of gloves. Alright. That was a nice large group of enemies. Bunch of weapons. Going to pick all of these up. All the blue ones at least to sell later. Couple of enemies on the way. Yeah, doing pretty well. We can tank some pretty chunky hits. Yeah, and dropping straight into a Rebuke does kickstart our mana regen quite quickly. And we've got that next point, the Warpath, reducing reducing the mana cost again. So that just means we can Warpath longer, and eventually we'll be able to just infinitely Warpath. There we go. Not many items other than a blue pickaxe. We're going to talk. We got pulled straight into a trap. But we're just going to keep going and rescue this fella who got himself picked up by that giant bird. Alright. Yeah, we do a lot of AoE damage now. The other ability, which I would be tempted to put points into here, is Lunge. Mostly because Lunge would give us missing health. We can make it do damage, we can make it cause frailty, immobilize things, we can make it instantly kill weaker enemies. But unfortunately, it's not as good, in my opinion, as Rebuke, or a later ability which I'm going to be picking up. That ability, which I'm going to pick up and just show you in just a second, is called Javelin. It was a later addition they added to this class. Now, this game is still in early access. This is actually the multiplayer version of the game, although I've gone for a solo character. So, Javelin is a level 18 ability, which we will pick up quite well. We'll get to that point pretty quick. The reason I want to pick up this ability isn't so I can throw and do damage like what most of these skill lines do. I want to go into here because if I pick up, where is it? I've got to go up here through Ignite Chance. I can make it rain javelins from the sky, but then I can turn it into a battle standard. And that battle standard gives us increased damage per attunement, and it increases our endurance threshold whilst we're in its area. But then I can also give it a dash to flag combo. So I can immediately dash to that flag when I throw it. I can make it heal me and allies in the area. I can make it last longer. I can cause it to cast smiting near the flag. So I want to use it to move around and also get healing in an area. Not sure what they were really expecting. We're going to pick up some more mana regen and rebuke. We're just going to enter the war camp. And we'll spend our next level up point on the, I think the last bit of Armorclad? Yeah, that was the last bit of Armorclad. And we've just gotten Shield Rush. Shield Rush is another movement skill, and it is really useful. Unfortunately, well, actually, I could potentially use it, because it does have this node here, which means it no longer requires a shield, but it costs more mana. So I may do that as a two-hander. Just rush around the place. So, we're in the lion's den, as it were, or rather the bird's den. These are all bird people. And we are just going to spin our way through, murder everyone in the camp, and find our the missing old guy who got taken by the birds. They've got a lot of phoenixes under their control. Go. It regens us to about 30 mana, which isn't too bad. We won't eventually need the mana regeneration, though, just because it will be free for us to spin. I'll have to chase that guy. He sprinted away real quick. Oh, we got another one of these forge golems. Alright. We got some really big dice. Very interesting design for storage containers. I suppose it's useful. It can be put on nearly any side. Bird's dead. Keep going through the Osprix. Oh, and we're fighting a really tall engineer. And he's dead. Very nice. A little bit of health regen. I may swap our... Yeah, I'm going to swap our heretical script for a little bit more flat health regen and a bit of more mana regen too. And that was the Osprix camp. We're going to enter the summit, and we're going to hopefully fight that big bird who took our friend. Yeah, this screams boss fight. There he is. Oh, don't want to fight me on your own? You want to get your weird bird dragon thing involved, do you? Alright, I'm just going to spin behind you. Going to lead you in a full circle. Oh. Oh, he's going to fly across the arena. Alright. I'm behind you, dude. I'm not burning. Yeah, can't beat that. Nice, more loot. Apparently too heavy for us to carry with us. We're going to transfer crafting items and sort. And we're going to pick up as much of this as we can. There's a pike of glory. Just can't fit that, unfortunately. I think this will get us back to town. Mention shards. Get out the cage, old man. Let's go. Back to town. Let's go hand in both of these quests. Yep, got rid of them. Thanks for the free golden XP. Talk to you and sell all of these. All of the items we picked up. If I've got anything else I could buy here. Any good? The answer is no. Right, so we are going to come over here, talk to both of these guys. I need to do something drastic. Don't know what we're doing. Well, we're going somewhere. We have been pulled into the future. Not a very nice future either. But we have a portal. Welcome to the crumbling ruins of the world. And here's something really that I love about this game. So we were in the Imperial era, right? Oh no, we were in the Divine era. So we come from minus 12 BE. So we were in the Alturi Cliffs here. That's the starting area of the game. Notice the map and just how gorgeous it is, right? You've got these little buildings, you've got the ships that are painted on there, you've got ice, like frozen water, citadels, all these places we can go in the future, birds, like ashlands. It looks fantastic, right? And then as you go through the different ages, the map changes. Like this worm thing is not there. They're like giant beetles. And then in the ruined era, it is just all consumed. I don't even want to know what this thing is. It's absolutely horrifying to look at the map. Like that's just a giant face. Like what? Where's that come from in the ocean? It's horrid to think about because this has taken over the whole world. But I digress. Our job is to go and fight it. I just hope we don't have to go and fight that giant face. Or if you're listening, developers, make us go fight that giant face. Our first enemy in the ruins of the world, something called a void despair. It's a horrible little creature. Worms. Now these guys do void damage. Thankfully, we've got some void resistance because of our skill tree and our items. Pretty tough, these guys. Up until you get the weaker worms, at least. Oh, and we've leveled up to 10, and we've gotten Rebuke. Something really good about this game is that as you go, up here in the top left, you've got a minimum specialized level, which means if I were to unspecialize in Rebuke, for example, uh, I would get the next skill I would specialize in would immediately go up to level 2, which I may actually do now. I'm going to despecialize it and put in Shield Rush. I'm going to put both points into Consuming Path. I can't actually use it until I pick up Dark Rush here. So my next point's going to go into Overwhelm, pick up some more flat physical damage. Just because I want another movement skill to make us go faster. And we have a boss mob. Well, a boss enemy. One of those Void Despairs. Pretty tough, I'll be honest. And a guard, and he's going to join us, and we're going to go find where all the people are hiding. I'm only really interested in picking up blues. Blues and yellow. And crafting items, of course. Oh, and we've got a armor. It's a yellow, but it's not quite as tanky as our current one. It just gives us some more flat mana, a bit of health regen. We do have a blue ring, which increases our lightning resistance. Okay, got another Void Despair taken care of. Long story. Let me go see the Elder. Thank you, goodbye. Alright, welcome to the last refuge outskirts. They're all under attack. And here we go. Bunch of blue mobs, a couple of tanky mobs. Yep, we're going to go help all of these people. Leather boots. Better leather boots than what we've got now, actually, with some flat health regen per second. They make us move a little bit faster. And as with most ARPGs, movement speed is king. Shrine of Wealth gives us a bunch of gold. And we're going to kill this Void Despair. Okay, let's go. We've got on another point in Warpath. I'm going to make it reduce our mana down to -6. So now we only have 4 mana cost every time, and now that's going down much slower. And we've picked up Dark Rush. I'm going to replace our Hammer Throw ability with that. Void Despair's dying pretty quickly, and now we can just charge straight through. That takes a ton of mana, wow! That uses our whole mana bar. Hope that's... Oh, that might have been a bad idea. That's a nice chunk of damage, but blimey, the entire mana bar. I might have to not use that. Oh dear. So we're level 11. And it doesn't cost much to respec. Yeah, we can spin through an entire boss health bar. Well, boss regular mob, not one of the special bosses, because those things are very tanky. Right, pick up a little bit more flat damage from our skill tree. Ah, I didn't talk to the right guy down here. Oh dear. The whole point I went down this way. Too busy talking about skills. At least I can just channel it and print very long straight lines. I wonder if I could... Hmm. Whereabout... Oh, I can make it more mana efficient. That's okay, then I'll start putting points into mana efficiency. Then we can make it do less damage. And then you can make it return you to the position you started from. That's terrible. Why would you want that? Well, unless you're using it as damage, I suppose. Make it do more damage after that. Make it do final hits more than once. Yeah, I'm just gonna make it really mana efficient, I think. We're just gonna keep that going and talk to this fella. We move pretty fast during it though. Oh, we got a silver ring. That actually increases our movement speed by 7%, so I'm going to equip that. There we go. Pretty good, actually. Oh, we got a new leather sash with void resistance. That's going to help us out a lot here. We're just going to start charging everywhere. Just charge straight through everything. And the nice part is mobs do just follow you. There we go. That was a lot of enemies. And we got a few weapons, so I'm going to have a look. I'm going to have a peek through these. Got an axe that does fire damage and ignite. And a worse club than what we've currently got. I think we got really lucky with our club, to be fair. Alright. And we're level 12. leveled up again, and I'm going to put that last point in Overwhelm. I'm going to put the next couple of points in Juggernaut for more strength and more resistances. Got to lower this bridge and go around, I suppose. I'm going to take a look how much mana Javelin is really going to cost us. I've cleared the path. That's what brings me here. Get out of here, mate. Go live your life. Yeah. I'm going to take a quick look at Javelin. So I would need 1, 2, 3... need 5 points to get to the ability to dash to the flag. But then I would be able to put it into other bits and pieces. I suppose I'll just have to test which movement ability is going to be the best. Or if I'm just going to hold down W at all times through the entire game. That's sort of the goal with any sort of spin to win ability. Is just spin infinitely, never stop spinning. Alright. Large groups of enemies are our best friend. We do AoE damage. Oh, +1 strength and +1 physical. I'm actually going to take that rather than the boots we were wearing. And we got a fellow we need to help. Now, I do need to really praise the developers of this game because every skill, it does feel smooth to use. Like, even in comparison to... I have no idea. Void Penance. That is a horrifying looking thing. That's made of arms. Oh, man. That's grim. Yeah. And it's dead. Thank goodness for that. Ugh. Cool, we can take the elevator to the next hub. And here we are. We get a passive skill for helping all those people. Goes in Juggernaut. Oh, I made a what? Thank you for the quest that's not giving me dialogue. Tell this fella how we got here, what we can do. We accept. We get some idols. Yeah, this game has a nice idol system. So I can put that in there and get some cold resistance and freeze rate multiplier. Or I can use this one to get some poison on hit. I'm not going to be scaling poison on hit, I don't think. So I'm not going to bother even picking that up. Let's sell everything which we've got. And what do they have for me? I'm going to buy one of these runes of shattering in case I find a nice item I want to break. And yeah, not much else. That's a 30 damage sword that I am actually going to buy. I'm going to see if I can't put on... I can put on flat physical damage. So I may do that. And I can put health on melee hit. Yeah, I'm going to use that. Because that, I think, actually It does a little bit less damage. Yeah, it does less damage than the Marauder Club, but I think we'll be moving or spinning faster with it. But hopefully we'll make it up. If not, I've just wasted some money. So, no real big loss. Alright. We've got to go down here first. We're just going to run over here, fight some new enemies rather than avoid worms. Plenty of them. Tough group, that. And we have hit level 13. And I've got on our next point in Shield Rush. That drops it by 10 mana, so that's more manageable. I just realised that is a terrible pun. Not mean to make either. Pick up the blues. We're just going to portal back to town because we got the thing we wanted. Just hand that quest straight in and run back through. That gave us a passive point. I'm going to put that in Juggernaut. So that then gets me to the next step. So I'm going to put 1 point in Fearless. Then I'm going to grab that point in Stalwart. Then I'm going to max out Juggernaut. And then that puts us at level 20, where we're going to stop putting points in the Sentinel tree. We'll save points. Yeah, it unfortunately it is a touch laggy sometimes, so you do end up with some weird visual bugs like that, where I was spinning, but also not spinning. Okay, we've got more mobs up here to spin through. Okay, oh, that's a nasty looking enemy. Leather gloves that increase cast speed. Reduce our mana cost that little bit more. Perfect. And the very next point, infinite spin. Oh, Assassin's Act. Physical and crit. And I could put another percentage physical damage on it. Interesting. What was that? Oh, there's a cosmetic pack now. Interesting. Pets and things. Neat. Water packs. That's kind of cool looking. I didn't know they added these. Oh, oh, that's a creepy looking wing set. Like that backpack, that and that portal. That's sick looking. That's horrifying. That's really cool. I do like the dragon portal though. I'm not so sure on the spinning fire. I don't think that was needed. And that's very natural or nature esque. Do I have any cosmetics? I have a pet. I have a backpack. I have a backpack. Hey, I got a free backpack and a weird looking pet thing. We're going to enter this Panian study. I think this brings us face to face with 3 bosses. What are they doing? Getting corrupted and needing to die. That's alright, I'm more than happy to oblige. We're just hanky. And second to last one. Or rather, this is the last one out of those 3. The ice one is the weakest, thankfully. It just doesn't do anywhere near as much damage as the others. Alright, let's pick up the loot, or rather look at it and see if they've got anything that I'd like. Nothing much, unfortunately. We do have this helmet. So our current one gives us some health regen, strength and dodge rating. This gives us more armor, fire, and physical resistance. So I'm going to go for that. Alright, let's teleport back to town. Accept a quest here, and in a quest here. And there we go. Block chance acquired. I am going to come and sell everything. Have they got any items that I would like? The answer is no. Okay. Let's keep going. Alright, down these big stairs, find more enemies to spin through. Enemies over here. Okay. Right. Oh, that dropped us a ton of shards. Anything interesting? Strength, added bow damage, added melee damage. Not really, mostly strength bonuses. Alright, there we go. Oh, we've got a unique two-handed staff for shurikens. Well, that's no good for us, is it? That's a shame. Okay. Oh, we don't have the shuriken ability. That is actually something for the rogue. And because this is a self-found character, I can't even pass it over to a rogue if I wanted. That's a shame. I'm also full on health potions. And we're going to max out Juggernaut next for more fire and void resistance whilst we fight all of these void mobs. Just going to gather them all up. Because they're not slow, but they're not fast either. Got a big old boss here that we're going to take out. And the more we spin through, the better. There we go. That's all the ads taken care of. Let's focus on the boss. We're just going to spin and avoid everything that he throws at us. Once I've gotten a spin to be maximum mana, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick some skills. I need to decide what sort of path I want to go down with the old spin to win tactic. Because there are a few, and they actually drastically change how I should gear and play. I'm just going to kill this Gorn. Kill everything in the way. So, with Warpath, obviously we're taking the less mana used. because we want it to be free so we can warpath as much as possible. Uh, Void Spiral gives us more like flat void damage. And then this is where it becomes interesting as far as specialization choices go. So this here creates echoes if we have the Void Knight specialization. An echo would, well, what echoes do is they stand in place and spin for us. They can't take damage. They're not actually like creatures or mobs. Um, but I think that's really quite interesting. And the chance that it creates an echo is twice that of the base amount Void Knights gives. Then as I go down, it would actually turn the base damage of Warpath into Void damage, and then I would do more damage with Time Rot, which is Void Knight thing, and then I would cast Abyssal Echoes every 5 seconds, but it would use the mana cost to that. This line gives Armor Shred, more damage to low health enemies, and then it would summon Forged Weapons. Forged Weapons are mostly to do with the Forge Guard specialization. So that's sort of like a summoning role, and those weapons would float around and attack things and draw aggro from me, and then I can make them faster. So that's really mostly useful if I want to go down a summoning Forge Guard role. This way, I get more move speed, I would deal more damage, but it would drain more mana per second. Gorebringer would give me bleed chance, and then it would turn everything into fire, and then I would make a fire trail. I would then do more fire damage to people I've ignited. And then for some reason it gives me more spell damage globally. I would get more healing. I would actually be able to provide healing with my Warpath spin. And I would do a smite every second while spinning as well. But then at the top left, I've just got area, block chance, damage, more area, and then I would actually regain mana whilst spinning. So personally, I'm thinking of going Void Knight, getting a lot of flat damage, turning it into void damage, getting Whirling Steel, getting a little bit of block chance, getting some life leech or crit or penetration with maces and scepters, and then area with two-handed weapons. And then if I make it give me mana every 3 seconds, I could easily take Abyssal Echoes. Because Abyssal Echoes is a bit of a weird one. What that does is enemies with Abyssal Echoes take a tick of void damage, a total of 120 void damage over its duration. But added spell damage applies at like 300% effectiveness. That's really quite strong. Then I can make it do flat more void damage. I can make it have a longer duration. I can make it blind enemies. I could cause it to reduce their physical resistance, more damage over time. I could make it just do a flat hit rather than a dot, but it would only do well, every hit would do a portion of what the real decay would have done. I can make it shred armor. I can like give it more armor shred effect. I can have it like on no cooldown. Because the thing is, it costs 35 mana, so I probably want to like get mana efficiency for it or regain a ton of mana from it. I can make it give me like damage versus blind enemies. I can make it do time rot. There's so many things I could potentially do with that. Or I could just focus purely on spinning, or just maximize as much spin as I can. Make it do even like huge, chunky bit of damage, red to enemies. Really difficult to decide. But I think I'm probably going to do that with Warpath and make it produce echoes. I'll pick what I want the echoes to do later. So back to the ruined era. We were in a ancient era sort of place there. And all that just across this bridge. Alright, got some more shards. Bit of mana recovery here. Oh, we just keep charging. Alright. Here we go. Next area, the Upper District. This fella says the Upper District is full of enemies. Please clear them out. More mana efficiency for our shield charge so it doesn't drain all of our mana every time we use it. Actually, is this going to be any good for that? No, it just decreases the cooldown of it. Yeah, we're not going to bother killing every enemy because you find yourself very over-leveled. If you find yourself over-leveled, you're actually you're getting less XP, so I don't know why you would take every enemy out. It's just sort of weird design. These things are annoying too. They're a bit tougher than I would really like. I'm just going to run through this area because it's level 14, I'm level 14. If I can bring everything up here to where this boss guy is, I can just kill it all in one go, get the level, fight the boss at the same time, and hopefully not have any worries. A lot of enemies. I can turn tooltips off for a second so I can see. And the boss is dead. Everything's dead in one spot. Pick up all of these runes, sort the items, make everything a little bit neater. So we just got another idol. I'm going to equip that because it just gives us flat health and armor, which is always good. Put one more point into Juggernaut. Actually, put 2 more points into Juggernaut, and that gets us to 20 skill points. So we now have 24% fire resistance, 24% void resistance, and a flat 8 bonus to strength. We unlocked Smite, the useful spell. Unfortunately, not good for us because we are spinning. So with spin, what I'm going to do is I am definitely going to go. I'm going to go Void Knight, just because Void Knight has a bunch of interesting abilities, and I think the echoes are the most synergistic thing with Warpath. They just increase the damage by a lot. And I can make it do echoes, I can have it echoes interact with other abilities that Warpath does, or Void Knight has. I'm going to come down here, slaughter these ones. But remember there was a chest down here, and I usually get a nice item out of it. Yeah, there it is. Anything good? Oh, it's rubbish this time. All those mobs dropped a bunch of good stuff, though. Pick all that up. Alright. Let's go to the next area. So I'm going to save all of my skill points until I unlock specializations. And I should unlock them at the end of this sort of quest, where we reach the lower district through the armory, fight our way through the armory, and then find that elder which we're looking for. All these bug enemies. They all die to spinning. More swords, more weapons. Anything good? Melee physical damage and attack speed, so I'm actually going to swap to that. Useful. Useful. Iron plate. That's nice. We're going to pick that up. Heal, and we have a boss to fight. Thankfully, we've got a ton of fire resistance, so we can just sort of spin around him. Watch his health bar slowly whittle down. I gotta say, probably not the most entertaining build in the game. I am half tempted to bring out a build which I very much enjoyed playing, but found a little bit overpowered. Probably make for a more interesting looking stream though, because I always find in these sorts of games, melee is great, but magic just looks better. But there is something to savour about just spinning. Again, I'm just going to lure things. See how big a train I can get. A pretty big one, it seems. Alright, let's do this. Charge right through. Spin right through them. They're all dead. And we hit level 16. Alright. Talk to this guy. Goodbye. Lower the bridge. And we're just going to go straight in here into the lower district. And this here is our boss fight. This poor dude, like, hung up, sort of frozen looking. Look at him. He's upset he can't get down. And now he's going to turn into a horrible, horrible abomination. And we're going to put him down. By spinning. Spinning is a good trick. You should try spinning. And block it. And spin and avoid his fire beam. And block. Heal through that. Just keep spinning. Block. And spin. Oh, and fire beam. Just keep spinning around them. And then it'll be that bigger lightning orb. And we're going to stand outside of it and regain our mana. Oh, he's teleported over here. So let's spin over here now. Block it. And spin. And he's dead. There we go. Easy. Bunch of loot. Not useful. Pick up the shard, and we go to question mark, question mark, question mark. The end of time. Normally, that would probably be the end of the game, but no. Uh, Talk to this lady. She tells us to go up here. And what do we find up here? Other than probably one of the coolest backgrounds in a game I have seen in a very long time. Just a black hole sucking everything that remains of reality in. We're just going to run up here. We're going to chat to this fella. How can he help us? He's going to help us harness their power. We're going to pick Void Knight. So that gets me something called a Racing Strike. And a Racing Strike is a very, very cool looking skill. It does this. I can't do it in the area, unfortunately. But I can now also put points in the Void Knight tree. And the Void Knight tree then gives me more void damage per point. I get health, void, and physical resistance. I can get more damage after killing. I can get leech. I can get more damage. Crit multiplier per point spent. Spell damage, melee damage. Chance to absorb health on kill. It's a very offensive tree. There's not a huge amount of defense in it, barring the early points. And later on is where you start finding really interesting things like melee kill threshold. Basically, it culls them, instantly killing them if they're below like 10% health. If I put all 5 points in that. Whenever you use an ability that reduces your mana to 0, I gain haste. Melee time rot chance, melee void damage on killing things. I then get more vitality, and all of my spells, smite would become based off my vitality. Late in the tree, and the main feature of Void Knight, if I read the passive bonus. So, firstly, I get 75% increased melee void damage. That's just sort of a given. It wants you to do void damage. The whole thing is called Void Knight. And then the second part. Your melee attacks, throwing attacks, and void spells have a 10% chance to be repeated by an echo 0.5 seconds later, excluding movement abilities and anomalies. So, that makes a clone. That's a very good, just a very good passive feature. Because they copy your damage, I believe. Later on, you get the chance to get more echo chance, even more echo chance, and even more echo chance. So this is 10%, this is 10%, this is 10%. That's that's a 40% chance to repeat, right? Except in the case of Warpath, Warpath here has a lovely bit in the top which says you have the chance to create an echo on the spot, but the chances are equal to twice your echo chance. That means instead of 40%, we have an 80% chance of echoing. So 40% chance of echoing, really no problems. But you can only create them if you've been traveling at least 4 meters and you've been spinning for 2 seconds. The thing is, 40% chance on everything is really strong anyway. Like hammer throw, javelin throwing, smite casting, void cleave is a really big one. Especially if I put echo down here, and that then creates more abyssal echoes after void cleaving. So, Warpath, I'm going to pick up that last piece, and now it is free. It costs us no mana. Erasing Strike is such a cool ability. Where is it? I'm looking for a specific node. Where's it gone? I don't think it's in here, actually. It might be in this one, which is called Void Cleave. There we go. Yeah, it sits here. So this ability here called Void Cleave, I can make it do more damage after Warpathing, and then I can make it, after doing a Void Cleave, my next Erasing Strike is a crit. Always. So I can make Warpath. Now it's free, I can make it regenerate me mana, do more damage, cause echoes, and make Erasing Strike and Void Cleave better. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of damage, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of Abyssal Endurance. I'm going to chat and hand in both quests, get a little bit of XP, get a little bit of gold. And now, last quest to hand in. More XP, more gold. Pick up a quest, and we're going to leave after selling all this loot. Transfer that. I'm going to put this staff in here, although I should probably just sell it. I can't use it or do anything with it. Ooh. That's an instant buy. So this armor here, that I've just bought, has +1 to Warpath on it. What does +1 on Warpath mean? It means I get to spend an additional point in Warpath. There's normally a cap of 20, but depending on if you get plus to certain skills, they can be movement, melee, specific skills like the one I've just got with Warpath, they give you, well, more points. And I just put some health on it and it's got a bit of vitality on it. So there we go. I'm going to spend that free point in Warpath. I'm going to go into... I am tempted to go into Giant Splitter, because that will then do a ton of damage whenever I stop. And the only reason I would stop is to then combo into Cleave and Erasing Strike. So I'm going to pick up Echo, because now we can Echo. And it is going to be the only ability I need on my bar. I'm actually going to replace it. And we leave. We go and we continue our spinning adventure. Spin through time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. Going to charge past the first mob. Here we go. I'll stop and I'll point out if I can see it echoing. There we go. That's the echo on the left. Doesn't last for a very long amount of time. But gosh, that looks amazing. Especially because it still does all of the damage we do just on the spot. Pick up a little bit less shield rush mana, so now I can just charge places. Or I could just probably Yeah, actually, I'm just going to unspecialize from that, because I'm just going to spin everywhere from now on. I'm going to specialize in Erasing Strike instead. And hopefully not die to Rotflies. So Erasing Strike. Costs a huge amount of mana. Does a very, very large hit. And I think I'm just going to make that a very, very big damage hit anyway. This is not a useful point for us because I'm going to be using it after Warpathing. I can give it more damage versus damaged enemies and more recovery speed, so I can use it more often. Void Beam's not too useful. More echoes. Consumes more mana to guarantee an echo. And then I can make it have no cooldown. I can increase its base crit, although I don't need to go into crit other than maybe going into crit multiplier because I can guarantee it. I can increase its area. I think I'm just going to go straight into damage. going to show this off. A great big slam. Huge whomp. Straight down. And there we go. Echoes. Better gloves. Now we're just going to keep spinning. Spin through everything. And let our echoes do the rest. I really don't like the mobs in this section. But as we travel, now we're going to be leaving echoes behind us, and those echoes that are behind us are just going to kill mobs following us. Ooh. Dropped idols. I'm going to need to look through these. Alright, let's take a look at these idols. Increased health, ward, health on kill and physical resistance. I'm going to pick that up. A little bit of sustain and a little bit of more physical resistance never hurt anybody, especially as I now have 41% and I'm 54% resistant to void. Okay. Uh-oh. Got completely stuck there. I think... Oh yeah, I can't actually shield rush anymore because I unspec'd it. So I'm going to change that for lunge. I'm just going to spin. We move at the same speed whilst running as we do spinning. And it's free, so there is no point to not spin. There we go. Just keep spinning. Got to go back for loot sometimes. And we leveled up so I can pick up a little bit more damage too. Or more physical and more void resistance. I'm going to pick up that damage. And load it in. And here we go. Find the city of Welrin. Gonna keep going up. Think it's better if we go this way? Can't remember. Oh, it's a dead end. Except for giant ice spiders. Alright. Yep, going this way. Probably up that ramp which I just passed. More enemies. More enemies, cultists. Let's get them. Oh, a visor of the turtle, mana, strength, and armor. Not too good for us because I really like the percentage resistances we've got on our current helmet. Oh, Erasing Strike has gone up, so I'm going to grab more damage versus damaged enemies. Because it really is just our big, meaty damage slam. Only going to get meatier as well. Block effectiveness and a big spider. Killed it. Keep spinning. I'm going to spin towards the quest markers. Ignore everything else. Yep. Gonna go up. And to the right. And we're level 18 and we've unlocked Javelin. Very useful, I think. Nope, still need 2 more points. Yeah, need 2 more points, 2 more levels to get a third skill. But next level we get Void Cleave, and then I can make the interesting combo happen. Alright. Let's grab a little bit more Void damage, and then I'll pick up some more Endurance. And sort of just stagger damage as I go. These guys want us to go find a few interesting items, a phylactery, some kind, and something to give people hope. Take a look at any weapons that they've got. They've got some very big axes. This one has flat melee void damage on it and crit chance, but also 54% chance to bleed. So what would that give us? So we've got 30 flat melee ready. I don't necessarily think it's better. Yeah, I think our sword is still better, so I'm just going to buy these 2 runes of shattering. Sell that ring, and I'm going to sell all of these idols. Except for this one, which I'm going to equip here. And we're going to go up first. This guy wants us to hunt some things whilst we're going up out of here. We're going to go hunt some things whilst we go up out of here. Alright. Weak spiders, and these are the most annoying enemies that I think they put into the new Ruined Era. These weird, horrible, crawling things. Oh, those are some boots. Difficult to pick things up whilst just spin. How much movement speed is that? 8%? Now I'm going to swap my boots. Oh. More guards. We're just going to spin and pick up a train of enemies that is slowly going to be whittled down by our echoes. Or by me stopping for loot. Okay. I'll pick up a big train now. Oh. Thanks, Lervik26. We just do a big slam, get rid of that whole crowd. And spin back through. There we go. Let's keep spinning. Keep on going. And I haven't found any of those big hulking ones. I know there's a few on the... There should be one on the bridge. There he is. These are the things they want us to hunt. And a slam takes care of him pretty quickly. Oh, that's a Sentinel's Raiment. It's a booster hammer throw. I'm spinning, not hammering. At least on this character. Let's go down. Yep. Nothing down that way. Let's... oh, I see another king on the map just here. I'm going to go towards that. And hopefully that's going to be the second of the Void Horrors that we kill. Never mind, there's one right here. That is dead, and that's 2 out of 3. There's that other one gone. And whilst we're here, we may as well pick up the portal. Bunch of spiders around it. Get rid of it. And there we go. There's Void Cleave. We've also leveled up the Racing Strike again. But Void Cleave is one of those really lovely looking abilities that came in later. I need a sword or an axe to use it, so we are going to be specializing in swords and axes. What it does is it's just a simple little swoosh. A little swing with a nice purple effect on it. But it does a lot of damage. So we're going to have a trifecta of abilities, especially as I can just keep spinning. And then we're going to have a 40% chance of echoing on 2 of these abilities. Firstly, I'm going to be spinning with Warpath. As soon as that levels up, I'm going to be going into Armor Shred and Giant Killer. So when I stop, that's going to be doing a big slash. And then I'm going to be doing this, followed by the Slam. The Slam is going to be a guaranteed crit because of the Void Cleave, and the Void Cleave is just going to do a ton of damage because I'm going to be Warpathing first and getting a boost of extra just oomph. All 3 skills combo very nicely into each other, and it's just a very good combination. This game has a very good skill synergistics. Like, some skills specifically help other skills in your toolkit, but I think the slash slam combo following, like, after Warpathing is one of the best ones they've put in. We've got an Infantry Hauberk, again, a hammer throw item. This game really wanted me to go into throwing hammers. Between all of the thrown damage rings I've gotten. So more enemies to spin through. Flash. Just going to spin down here, get a bigger group. Because we're going to have a lot of AoE damage. Like, not just from the echoes and the spinning, but from the slash followed by the slam too. Thistle Chopper with flat physical but minion damage on it. Not useful to us, unfortunately. Especially as our sword already has a nice chunky bit of damage to it. Okay. Welrin Undercity, here we come. So, next level up point. Going to pop that in Abyssal Endurance. And then, so I could pick up some more percentage damage, because we do have a lot of flat at the moment. I think percentage may be the way to go. But we're just gonna spin. Nothing but spinning. I'm gonna spin up here and talk to this poor unfortunate fella trapped in the machine. The last Imperial. He wants us to kill him. So let's go kill him. But to kill him, we've got to go find 3 bits he's hooked up to, smash them to pieces. You know, standard ARPG, quest stuff. Go kill this, smash that. There's not really much to say. It's enjoyable just because you kill so many things. Oh, that one is on fire and he sprinted away. And here is the first soul repository he wants us to smash. And there we go. Back to spinning. Player's short spear, not useful to us. And there is the 3rd skill specialization slot. So, 1 more point into a racing strike. I'm going to pick up even more damage for that. And the last skill specialization goes into void cleave. And the first things I'm going to do here, more damage in area. It can't be dodged. And then we apply critical vulnerability. That means things that could you normally avoid crits can no longer avoid crits. And that is just a huge chunk of damage. And that's some boots with even more move speed on. That means we just run a lot and spin a lot faster. Move speed is king. Move speed is king. And the nice part is, our slashes and our slam are going to be able to echo. Here we go. Flash, slam. Immediately, things melt. Brass Amulet of Frost, no use to us. We just want void and physical damage. Alright, let's go hand this quest in. Very quick, very short. Pick up some physical percentage. Doubted me, thanks, bye. Run straight through him. And back up into the town. We'll stop off at the shop, drop any loot off that I picked up. And we'll go straight down into the next area. Okay. Where is he? There's the shop. Hello. Buy these off me, please. Sell everything I don't need. I'll buy another Rune of Shattering. These are just super useful. Those are spears. He's got no decent axe or sword, and we've got to keep using those because we now have Void Cleave. Sadly, can't use it with a hammer. And now we're at the docks. Or at least what were the docks. I'm not sure I really want to go swim in all of that purple goop. Especially seeing as how fleshy it looks. Just keep spinning, drag everything behind us. Warpath is a very good ability once you get it going. Slow to start with, but it scales phenomenally. Oh, we got another pair of gloves. Another pair of throw-in gloves. Great. This game wanted me to be a Shuriken Rogue or a Hammer Paladin, I tell you. Although a Hammer Void Knight is surprisingly decent, there's nothing specifically in the Void Knight tree of this game to say throwing better. But the Echo, because you get so many of them, and you can throw hammers so quickly come the end game, it surprisingly keeps up with what the hammer throw would do off of, say, Paladin or Forge Guard. Okay, here's the chest that we need, and we've got to fight this giant void centipede thing. It looks more like a crustacean to me, to be honest, with a big claw. Just spin around it, slash and slam, and it did survive. They have a lot of health. Any items? Nope, no more swords. Take the symbol of hope, pop open a portal, and teleport back to town. So, here comes a boss. So, of course, the creepy people we found living in the city ruins, all dressed in dark and purple, who are called cultists outright, they're going to betray us. It's pretty obvious, right? We're going to hand them the phylactery we got from the dead Imperial, and we're going to hand them the symbol of hope. And then we're just going to see what happens. Up we go. Very, very long path, and over a bridge. Talk to these two, who definitely don't look worrying at all. All their praying cult is behind them. Observe, the souls trapped in the phylactery are scared of us and the oblivion, and we free them. The void scours the hope from the world, and our bodies used as sacrifice. There you go. Betrayal. Betrayal in the finest format. So now let's kill the void amalgamation they have become. Because we are the Void Knight, and they can't stand up to it. This is a very lightning-based encounter, and lightning is our weakest resistance. Thank you very much for following, Shapeless DNB. Keep spinning through the void of amalgamation. Another slam. Ah, that almost took him out. That was a 2k crit. Oh, and we've got an orange ring. So we get more crit strike chance, but less multiplier. Unfortunately, not much good for us because we're really banking on a very high damage crit erasing strike. Got a maul, got a scepter. So I'm just going to take the yellow, and we're going to keep going. We're going to keep spinning. I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. This build is going quite well so far. It's just going to keep getting better. All right. So we've also been asked to find the lesser refuge in the Shattered Valley, and that is through this abandoned tunnel right here. So let's enter, and let's keep spinning our way to the top. Got some weird rock creatures down here. Just going to spin straight through them. Just keep spinning. Oh, hit my slam button there. A little bit too early. And slash, hit level 21. Let's just keep going. All right. Up we go. Scorpions and spiders and weird rock creatures aside, there's not much in this cave that is really going to do damage to us. Void Cleaver leveled up, so that puts a point up here in the crit multiplier. Yeah, we're going to be focusing heavily on crit and void damage, just about everything else. Bit of percentage damage there in the skill tree, because we're going to get a lot of flat void, so we want to scale that as much as possible too. It's really going to be better for us to just ignore physical after a certain point and go all in on the void damage too. Because all of our abilities are going to be shredding void resistance. Let's keep going up. It's one of the really nice things that I prefer about Last Epoch over some of the other ARPGs on the market. I mean, other than the fact that it's not actually complete yet, but there's a full 8 acts you can play through with so many different build options. You have what is effectively one of the smoothest stories. It never really feels like it drags or the areas go over long, and you never really hit a wall unless you really don't have a build that can handle it. But until you actually find that point, you can respec at any time. There is no cost to it. If I wanted to, I could come straight out of being a spin build and right into something else. The only thing that you can't change is your specialization. So if I were to change my build from spin, I would need to stay as a Void Knight. But as I said, you can go throw, you can go spell. There are so many different options. It is great. So just going to keep going. Those rock golems, they're just a little bit tanky for my liking, and they don't really give us much good loot or XP. Rare mobs, on the other hand, usually drop us a yellow. Okay, another rare mob. Immediate spin. Oh, no, immediate cleave and it died. Very nice. Yeah, so with the spin, next things are going to be giant splitter. So as we come out to perform our cleave, it's going to send out another high damaging shockwave. And it's actually not taking anywhere near as much of our mana as I remember this doing. Oh, a heretical script. Increases rebuke. That's unfortunate. There we go. They're gone. So against tanky mobs, it's going to be the slash and the slam. Against the weaker mobs, we're just going to spin. I don't even need to perform the erasing strike. The void slash does it all for me, for the most part. Oh, and he's back for more. He really wanted a second taste of that void cleave, didn't he? Okay, next area, Lost Refuge. All right. So the whole point why we're here is to find a ruined building and bring some information about this place to the scholar in the hub town where we just came from. But before I go back and I hand this in, what we're going to do is just up ahead of where we entered, there's actually a portal there to go and complete the second quest, which is Enter a Time Rift for the Ancient Hunt. So we're going to go and do that. Poison does hit us for quite a hard amount of damage. Something really good about Last Epoch as well. All of the damage is like it's fair and reasonable. You've got innate one-shot protection. There's resistances to everything. There's no damage which doesn't have a resistance that you can't get. There's nothing like pure damage you need to worry about. And they don't really have any mobs that reflect damage back at you either. So there's no real worry of, oh no, I need to watch out and have a specific thing ready to deal with certain enemies. It's just play your build, make something that feels fun and interesting, and just go wild with it. And that is why I love this spin. Don't need to open that and take the tome. There we go. And we can return to the council chambers. But instead, I'm going to go back to the Shattered Valley and enter that portal. Okay. So we go down over this bridge. Going to pick up a little bit more percent damage and a little bit more flat damage. Its Warpath is at 476 damage now. Erasing Strike at 490 and Void Cleave at 490, Erasing Strike at 1000. But when it crits, boy does that hit hard. We're going to be focusing heavily on crits. Because other than the flat percentage that you get in the Void Cleave tree, which we've already got, that gives us a base +2, where is it in Void Knight? This ability here, which we're 2 points away from, Gives us more crit multiplier per point we spend here. If I actually search crit, it's the only node in this tree. The only other bits of crit that you really have that you can pick up that aren't base are actually locked behind higher end um, other specializations, so we can't actually pick those up. But Void Knight and Sentinel, a lot of the abilities, like if I go into here, we can pick up like an increase of 50% every point we spend. There's a lot of innate crit in these trees. Like global. The thing is, that there is global base crit chance. So whilst we spin, we have a 10% increased chance to crit just because we're holding a sword. I don't think that's going to be super good for Erasing Strike and Void Cleave, but Erasing Strike is going to lead to a guaranteed crit for. Sorry, Void Cleave is going to lead to a guaranteed crit for Erasing Strike. And I need to make sure I don't get mauled by these things, because they do actually hit hard and cause a high damage bleed. So I'm going to go into here. I'm going to grab that more crit multi for Void Cleave. Like that's another 50% crit multi per Void Cleave as per point. So that's massive too. And then it's going to make sure our Erasing Strike always crits. What do I want in here next? Because I've maxed out the Rift area and the damage. Well, the melee area. I can get more damage versus damaged enemies, flat damage, and instant kill below 10% health. Oh, there you go. Flat damage. So that's flat melee void damage, but it's doubled with a two-handed weapon. So that pushed that up to by 200 as far as DPS goes. That's nuts. I don't even really need to spin. I can just chain Void Cleave and Erasing Strike. Tossing enemies right out the way. Pick up a bit more percentage damage because we've got all of that lovely flat that we can pick up in those trees. And then sometimes I've got to keep in mind that although I've got this 491, 1200, the chance of it echoing and effectively doubling, it's a 10% chance. So it's like another crit all the way on top. We unlocked another ability. So we've got Volatile Reversal and Abyssal Echoes. What does Volatile Reversal do? It moves me back 2 seconds in time and gives me back my health and my mana since then. And then Abyssal Echoes, it does a nova of damage, and they then take void damage. And if they take a hit, all of it is done them immediately. So that is the third ability and the fourth ability and the fifth ability, which I'm actually going to be speccing into. Because Warpath is going to be causing echoes. The echoes damage is going to be done immediately. It's fantastic. So I need another point here. So we're shredding armor now. We've got a 20% chance every hit we do of Warpath. And then Giant Killer going to be our next 5 points. And then I'm going to go down, or rather, I'm actually going to go across up here, get more damage. I may not necessarily spec into Abyssal Echoes, because it does cost a chunk of mana. It's just decisions you need to make whilst you're leveling, or when you get the abilities, really. Go. Immediate erasure from existence. Could always potentially pick up this here, which is Sigils of Hope from the Paladin tree, because there are a few bits in the Paladin tree which are nice early on defensively. And this is the boss of this area. He does fire damage. We've got a bit of innate fire resistance. We don't really have any issues with that. The Erase, Void Strike, and Temporal gets me all that mana back. Oh, and we got to run out of that area. That's a very high damage explosion he releases. That's a nice thing. They telegraph the big attacks really well. Got 6 stacks of armor shred, and then void. Takes a nice chunk of damage off of it. Oh no, I messed up. I didn't press volatile reversal fast enough. Oh well. Go back to spinning. And there he goes. Absolutely crushed. Got a blighted impaler, a broadsword. Oh, it's a one-handed. No good for us. But let's keep going. Alright, now we're going to return to the council chambers. A ruined era, council chambers. We'll hand in these 2 quests and head on to the final part of this act. Oh, that's the re-specialization. Teller of the Forest, and we get 2 more idol slots. We don't have any other idols. I want to be called the Refuge. So it's just a bit of XP, but the idol slots are really what I needed to do that for. So back to the Shattered Valley, and we're going to go up to the final part of the act. And of course, we're going to spin our way there. Oh, didn't need to go up, need to go down. And we're just going to follow the bridge and ignore that portal. And more enemies to spin through. I think I'm only really going to stop and do a slash or a slam against the harder enemies that may appear. Mighty Iron Plate. No use to us, so just keep spinning. Oh, there's a yellow and it's dead. Staff, no good for us, not even going to bother picking it up. And I think I need to go back over this way. Yeah, I do. Alright, I'll leave an echo behind in a second. And there you go. Kills everything that was following us. There we go, that's another yellow name down. And what are these boots? Intelligence and Vitality. We've got a lot of move speed on our current one, so we're going to keep on that. Up we go. Oh, that's a copper ring. That's got more crit strike. So I may replace my dodge rating ring with that. It does more damage over time, but it's got physical resistance, so I'll just... Yeah, I'll swap that. The base crit is going to be worth it. Especially as we're going to be a heavy crit build with most of our crit focusing on the slash and the warpath. I can't click that door for some reason. That's interesting. Mighty Iron Purifier. No, thank you. Alright. Transfer all of that and sort the old inventory. And we leveled up again. Alright, there we go. Crit multiplier per point spent in this tree. So that's an 11% crit multiplier we've now gotten for 1 point. And that's just going to keep scaling up every time I spend another point in the Void Knight tree. And everything I'm doing is to go up to get the extra echo chance. And goodbye. Oh, and a blue bear. So, not surprising, not as tanky as I thought it was going to be. Been straight through. Hopefully we can get another decent weapon soon. I feel like our damage is starting to lack a little bit on the Warpath side. But then again, that might just be because the Void Cleave and the Erasing Strike do so much damage in one go. Right. A little bit more people. We've got some animated statues to deal with. I can't see the health bars of. But they go down easy. Or at least they go down easy with a slash. We go up here. There's enemies. And a chest to loot. Oh, that's a good chest to loot. I've got the Last Bear's Lament, health regen, a ton of void resistance, and some taunt when I stun enemies. And an amulet that is for the Primalist with his wolf summons. So, no good for me, unfortunately. But I will swap to the Last Bear's Lament. That doesn't look like a bear head. That looks like a helmet. That's a sad sight. Oh well. I can't blame them for not making unique art for every equipable item on every character, to be fair. It takes so much time to do that. Oh, that's a gap. Didn't need to go into there. I'll just keep going. Oh, that's a yellow enemy. And he's gone. Oh, that's a blue. Oh, blimey, he's fast. Yeah, I'm not going to tangle with that thing. Not because I don't want to kill it, just because I think it would take too much time because of how fast and immediately across the screen it rolled. Never mind, he's here. And he just ate my Erasing Strike. Didn't eat the Void Cleave very well. There's another one. Void Cleave and Slam. There we go. How much crit do I actually have for this ability? Let's see. So, damage, crit chance. Crit strike multiplier, 211%. Crit strike chance is at 7%. So really, that is going to be 9 or 10%. Then an additional, what was it, 50. But not too bad. What, a 15% chance to crit, give or take? There we go. Another copper ring. That gives health, intelligence. I don't really want to swap out the other blue. The blue one gives me movement speed. Come back down here, follow the yellow arrow, quest marker. Let's head up here. And go back to spinning. Because anytime you see an area with empty enemies, there's more just up ahead. Oh, getting lightning from statue. Void Cleaver's leveled up again. And that's the crit multiplier. A nice big AoE damage. There's just something about ARPGs where you just wipe out an entire group of enemies in one or two abilities. That feels so good. Oh, that's a unique belt. Isadora's Tomb Binding. I'm going to look at that after I take care of those. What does this do? Gives me 272 armor and 25% increased armor and increased necrotic damage. Unfortunately, I don't do necrotic damage, but that is a lot of armor. Where is my armor? It's under defense. Oh, I've got 906 armor. Take that off, I have 380. So just by equipping that, I get 600 armor. That is insane. Alright. That's a big statue. And he doesn't like me. Alright. I'm gonna kill him. The Temple Guardian. You are meant to guard this temple. Why is all this purple stuff here? Oh dear. There we go. He's down. Dropped not much. Yeah, next nothing in the way of loot that I want. Right, Void Strike. More flat damage, please. Let's see. Points. Where to go now? Throwing a spell damage or flat melee? I think every 3 seconds my next melee ability deals increased damage. So that's a 30% increase. That's mainly going to be on Void Cleave. And that's going to be massive once I pick that up, because that means my Void Cleave is going to do a absolutely staggering hit every time I stop my movement skill. And Warpath is thankfully counted as a movement skill. That's practically turning it into a crit without calling it a crit. Oh, they dropped a ton of shards. Yes, please. Transfer all of those. I will just keep going up here. Oh, increase attack and movement speed. Yes, please. And a slam gets rid of everything. I think I've got to go this way. Yep, there's a path over here. I feel like a bit of a Beyblade right now, I'll be honest. And goodbye, green. Alright. One-handed cleaver, no thanks. I'll pick that up to sell it, maybe. I'm going to drop this blue helmet we were using. This blue belt I was using. And what's up here? Voidwing Nest. Alright. Abyssal Fiend. You know, this is an enemy which I think they should probably reuse a lot more. It looks so cool. It also reminds me... it reminds me of those classic demon models that you found in WoW. You know, the ones with the large horns and the sort of glowy body. Except just all purple. By a bearded axe. Oh, that's a two-handed axe. That's... take a look at that. Crit strike multi, minion spell damage. Can I put any flat damage on it? No, I can't. That is a waste of an axe for me. That's a real shame. I may need to focus on swords. I feel like it's going to be a sword run. The Lotus Halls. Let's go. So there are two things to the left and the right which we need to go and grab, so we're just going to focus on the left. I normally always go to the right, but I normally mess up and get stuck and have to backtrack quite a lot. There we go. The Echo is doing work. And there it goes again. Here we go. Through here and then up? I think it's through here and then up. Sadly, no movement speed. I only really want boots that have movement speed on. Oh, some yellows. Let's pull an erase on them. Sentinel plate. +1 to Rive. I'll take it and scrap it. Actually, no, I don't need to take it. I'm playing a solo bound, so it doesn't matter. I'm just going to spin back through, kill as many of these. Oh, another idol. That's good because I am low on idol, so that's stun chance and some physical melee damage. High void damage and void resistance. Unfortunately, that scorpion in particular, was sort of an anti-us, it looked like. High void and high physical resistances. That may mean I need to pick up some void shred sooner rather than later. Briefly gains damage when hit. Let's just hit it really hard once or twice. Broken sword, one-handed, no use to us. Keep spinning on through. Here's the first thing we came for. So whilst we're here, let's pick up another 30% damage on our Void Cleave or a Racing Strike. Depends on which one I do. So we're teleported back. We grab the crystals from before. And we slam the husk for nearly 3k damage. That's really tasty. So the bridge is out, so we'll have to go around. Gonna run. I think we do move a teensy bit faster whilst running. A little bit contradictory to what I said earlier, thinking that we move the same speed. But hey, we move a little bit slower, but we kill everything around us, so, you know, what's better? Alright. Oh, our Void Cleave leveled up. And that means we can pick up the guaranteed crit on a Racing Strike after Void Cleaving. That is going to be absolutely massive. That's another Hammer Throw pennant. They really wanted us to go Hammer Throw with the amount of gear we've gotten for it. Okay, get the yellows. And there you go. Guaranteed crit. Everything on screen. Absolutely disgusting. So I am probably going to go up and pick up that free crit multiplier and a Racing Strike just here. After I pick up some more flat damage, because I just want that to do the maximum amount of damage I can get it to do. It's just my finishing move, effectively. All right. If they survive the Void Cleave, that is. There you go. Just goodbye everything in a cone in front of me. All right, down here we go. There's some giant chains scattered about the place. It really makes me wonder, like, what this place was really for. They never tell you. Unfortunately, the last act of the game isn't in yet. I'm assuming the next act is the last act. Instead of, they've focused a lot on getting multiplayer out. Transfer all items. Store. How's this greatsword compared to ours? That's a lot of crit strike chance on it. Goodbye. Its health bar. We dealt so much damage. Its health bar is still showing half health. So R1 has melee attack, the same melee physical, but this has crit on it. And can I put percentage? That's increased. That's already currently applied. Put health on here or attributes. Let's see, what swaps? Now our current sword is better. Keep going. Hopefully we get... And they need to stop dropping so many shards. It's one of those things which I will always pick up in this game, are just the shards. Spin over here, and one slash. Could just span through them. They're very weak, these ones. Mighty Heretical Script. Oh, that's a lot of void resistance. Yeah, we got a little bit of void resistance and cast speed. That's void damage, strength, and void resistance. So that boosts us from 512 to 550. It's a little bit of damage increase, but we are now well over capped on our void res. Oh, wow, I've just jumped up to 10 viewers. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We're playing a Cyclone build, effectively, if you're from Poe, a Whirlwind build if you're from Barb, or a Warpath build if you're used to what they call it here in Last Epoch. So what we're picking up now? Giant Splitter. So now, once Giant Splitter is ready, after we span for a minute, we release it in a nice slash in front of us, matches Void Cleave, and matches Erasing Strike. So now we have a trifecta of finishing move. And now our Void Cleave is going to do 90% increased damage every time we release it after spinning. So we've gotten the last two bits that we need. Let's run back to where that start is. A couple of enemies are respawned in the way. This fella's going to feel everything. And there it goes. Completely erased from existence. And that is hopefully what we're going to be doing all through this game, just erasing things. Goodbye. That second slam that just happened there, I believe that also crits from our Echo. And if it does, that is just a brutal hit. Because we're now doing up to around 6k if both our Void and our Erasing Strike crit. This is going very well. Alright, let's keep going. We're just going to plow through all the enemies in the way. Everything that's just a bit slower than us, because we are now level 26, this area is level 24. But we're still not getting bad XP off of them. I do need more mana. Alright. Gonna run through next section. And down these stairs. This game has very impressive verticality, but they don't use it too much in the actual, like, day-to-day bits of gameplay that you do. Everything is generally flat. I think it would be a bit interesting if some of their maps later on, or maybe even the next act, had a bit more verticality to it. Alright. Scholar Boots, Vital Boots, no use for me. And here we go. Get rid of that. Lucky Sash. No thank you, I've got that set item belt. Gives me a ton of armor. Flanged Mace. Again, no good. Choppers, nothing. Okay, let's Move down here. Going to ignore him doing his little ability. Oh, our Echo just completely shredded it. And we took care of a harder enemy right there. The only downside to any sort of physical build, well, actually, Last Epoch does it quite well, so it's not really a huge downside, because even casters suffer for it. In most other ARPGs, casting and spell abilities all have sort of a flat gain that they get every time they level up and increase, but physical ones all rely on the weapons that you have drop. So melee builds always need more gear, and they always need a really good weapon. Whereas, like casters and everything, just tend to need percentage. What Last Epoch does is they put flat spell damage and something called adaptive damage that works for both spells and attacks, because a lot of the builds in this game do work as hybrids. That's not useful too much for me. Uh, yeah, it worked really well as hybrids. So, say I wanted to go a little bit into spell casting on this spell sort, Void Knight, even. I'll pick a point in there in a minute. Yeah, so that's a racing strike. That's more damage, more flat damage, please. Uh, yeah, so say I wanted to go into casting. The thing about Void Knight and most of Void's abilities is it uses vitality to cast with, and vitality is your health. The more vitality you get, the higher the health you have, the more damage you do. You can end up with a ton of health as a Void spellcaster. The only downside is that what normally is used is attunement, and that actually improves like your mana regen and everything, I think. And then also some void spells can start doing damage to you, and you tend to leech from them instead. And here is the boss of the act. Let's see how badly he takes our Void Cleave and Erasing Strike combo. I'm going to get rid of those first two ads first. That chunked what looked like nearly a third of his health bar off. Race myself back to where I was. I may need to stop and regain some mana. Yep, let's grab a little bit of mana back so we can do another combo. And here we go. Last chunk. Also in phase 2. And goodbye. 5k crit on the end. And so he explodes. Gonna grab everything here. Belt, pike. Oh, I've got no room. Sort the inventory, grab the belt, grab the amulet. Don't think I could fit anything else. And then we pick up the shard. So now we have 2 and they resonate with power. Let's reach out and we go back to the end of time. So, there we go. That is the first 2 acts, or rather the first act now, done. So who to go talk to? Well, first off, I'm going to go sell all that gear we picked up. Don't need any of it, not even the uniques, because this is a self-found character and I'm not going to be using those at all. We're going to go up, talk to the elder up here, and we're going to be sent off to the next act. And there's going to be another merchant there, and hopefully they will have a better sword that I can craft with. What do we need to do? We need to go fight a big skeleton. That's right. The next act is all against fighting skeletons. Skeletons have taken over the world. They won the skeleton war. So it's time to fight it. Well, yeah. We're the last remnants of the skin people. Halt, where do we come here? Halt, where did we come from? Clearly not here. Let's see. Has he got a sword? He does, and it has percent physical damage on hit and more armor shred on hit. So I'm going to buy that, and we're going to craft on it. So melee crit strike or melee physical damage. So that is prefix. Crit strike is a prefix. Suffixes. Prefix. Let's just do prefixes. I need to decide because it's already got physical damage as a prefix. I could add plus flat. It's got 40 at the moment, and our current one is 30 and 18. So I think it might be a good idea to put more flat damage on it. Or I could go for melee attack speed, because our sword also has melee attack speed on. But we don't really rely too much on attack speed, so I think just a larger flat hit is going to be better. Let's add that. We've got 14 now. I'm going to take our current sword, so we do 558, 587. So not a huge amount of damage, but I'm going to shatter our sword. We've got +2 melee physicals. I'm going to put them both on here. So now that does 70 flat physical damage. Upgrade the percentage 2. And then can I put a prefix on here? I can put another suffix on. So I could do chance to bleed on hit, chill or poison on hit. None of those are particularly great for me, so I'm actually going to put all attributes on it. And that's used up the forging potential. Okay. But we've gone from doing 500 warpath damage to 718, and now a racing strike supposedly does 2000 without a crit. Good company. Yep, we're going to go over here just so we can grab the forge because it's a free 50 XP. And then we're also going to come down here and talk to this fella. They tell us to go to the Great College. So, these actually give you the full reward, so nothing is really a mystery. The reason we want to go there and enter the college is because it will give us another passive point. So we are going to go and do that. Run through here. And wait for it to load. There we go. And we fight the skeletons. And they just vaporize into loot. Reduced to bone dust. How much damage are we taking? Like 14 to 20 a hit. Not bad, but pretty tanky. Alright, let's spin straight through. Big undead bears are not what I particularly want to be fighting. Bit scarier than just a skeleton men. Oh, Void Cleave leveled up. Bit of overkill just for that one skeleton, I'll admit. Pick up that as 120 damage, and we've just gotten Void Orb. So I realise I haven't actually used Abyssal Echoes, so that just does a little pulse. Devouring Orb, something really quite interesting to look at. I'm going to pick up some more crit chance for Void Cleave. So, Devouring Orb just makes a little shiny orb, and I'm going to cast that down here at an enemy. But when I kill an enemy, or hit an enemy, it does a pulse of damage. So it's when I kill an enemy it does a pulse of damage. Is that useful to me right now? No. Is it particularly useful fighting bosses? Also no. Is it very good for when I spin straight through a map and potentially drop it behind me as I go? The answer to that one is yes. But I would need to make it probably orbit me and make it an instant cast. And that takes a lot more mana, and that takes mana away from Void Cleave and Erasing Strike. So it's not going to be used, unfortunately. But more bears, we just do a Void Slash and murder them. And just keep going. Yeah, we've gone from some really dark purples to some muddy, brown, horrible continent. Slice straight through the archers. And hopefully I'm going in the right direction. I do really want to get up to the Warpath node, which gives me mana whilst I'm spinning. I feel like that's going to be very useful, this style of play. Because Warpath, I love it, and it is an excellent skill, but it really is the way we carry our Void Slash and Erasing Strike. I don't think this is the right way. 5k. 5k every time I whip out the Erasing Strike. That is real good, especially for having a 500 DPS main skill. There that goes. Alright, let's keep it going. Straight through to the boss of this map and onto the next couple of areas. If you look closely, he is just pirouetting. Kill the archers, kill the archers, kill all the ads on the way. There we go. Block strikes from distant enemies. Oh, we're not going to be distant much. I really need to get better at the temporal shift. Need to hit that a lot faster. Goodbye, boss mob. And into the next area. So, Imperial Wellrin. That was the big destroyed city we went through in the last act. So we're going to go up here to where the college is, knock on the door, and then teleport back to the destroyed city. Because, spoiler, we need the key. As we go down, more mobs, and some weird bone dog creatures they decided to make. Feline chimeras. So these are big cat skeletons. Up here we go. Unlock the door. And the Great College is ours. Or at least it would be. Talk to the door. There's a guard inside. It's not going to unlock it. So, TP back to town. And we're going to TP straight to the ruined version of the college. Fight our way through that. Grab the key. And then that's not where the portal is. Okay. That's weird. Not sure what happened there or how I ended up in that spot. So, going to go back to the ruined era. Ruined college is there, so let's travel straight to the ruins of Welrin. Love this art they've got of just the decayed skeleton statues, especially when we saw that they were still people just in front of the college. Oh, and we spawned into a mob attacking us. And it's gone. I'm just going to keep spinning straight through, straight up to where that college is. Because all these mobs we've already dealt with and killed plenty of times. I know a lot of people who tend to speedrun games would not bother with a lot of the side quests, but you get more passive points. There's no reason not to do them. You get more skills. So if our Void Cleave crits, it does nearly 4k damage, and then that leads immediately into a 4 to 5k crit from a Racing Strike. So we're almost at 10k damage with just those two abilities alone. I wonder how long that remains. There we go. To grab that regen buff too. TP straight back out. This one takes us to the end of time. We're just going to go back to the college in the Imperial era. And it is sending me at weird spots. Where is it? There it is. Imperial Wellrin. Alright. Back to Skeletonville. Well, at least that portal didn't send me out to a weird spot. Oh, battle axe. One-handed, never mind. Cut straight through this fella. Oh, I love the slam echo. I think I can guarantee an echo on it as well. Alright, back up into the college. And we'll unlock that door and go up and kick that guard in the face who didn't unlock it for us the first time. Let's go. Slice our way straight through. Oh, I've got to get that. It's got a glyph of hope near it. Oh, man. So many shards. So many I'm never going to use in this build. Sentinel's Iron Visor. Volatile Reversal. Yeah, so the next ability we'll unlock at 35. Sentinel's Infantry Helm. Mana when we use Rive. Not useful to us. We don't use that ability. Oh, opened the door. Okay. Go down, cut our way through these guys. Chance to chill shard. Straight out of the way of those out. I can't open doors while spinning. That is unfortunate. And that was it. But there's some chests in here. Hopefully they're going to drop me something nice. No. And that's a no. Poor guys. In. I don't even know what's happening here. I'm guessing they're being turned into undead or soul fuel or something. Go back to town, we'll hand this quest in, get that passive point, and then continue on our way. Again, it puts me here. Oh, got the passive point at least. Future Strike on hit, an ailment that lasts 2 seconds and deals 60 void damage all at once at the end of its hit. No thank you. Or flat strength and health. I'm going to max out Patient Doom. So now our Void Cleave does 150% extra damage every time we stop spinning and use it. I'm going to be picking up this for more flat melee void damage. And I might then pick up World Eater to leech our melee and our void damage. A little bit more Survivability never goes astray. So back to Immortal Wellrin, and we're just going to fight our way through the city and leave. So let's go. Goodbye. See, there's no cooldown on echoes, I think. But I will just double check. Yeah, there's no cooldown. And also, Warpath leveled up, so that means I'm going to go... do I want more damage or more area while spinning? Well, actually, no. Warpath just does damage. That would increase the slash damage in the area, but I just wanted it. So I'm going to go up here, grab more area for Warpath, more damage, more area with two-handing, and then the mana. And then I'll probably max out Giant Splitter, and then some more of these abilities to make it larger. It'd be nice if there was a vacuum-like ability to it as well. Actually, there might be. I might read through it quick. See if there is. Anything sucks enemies towards me? Sadly, no. Alright, Erasing Strike time. And again, that is... we get percentage kill or boss health on hit. That is chunky. And if I kill 5 or more enemies, I get Void Beams. And then Void Beams do more damage. Interesting. Not really sure what on Void Beams do. Going to show me what Void Beams do? Void Beam. 372 damage a second. So it wouldn't actually have any mana cost because it's on a trigger. Again, haste after kills or hitting a boss or rare enemy. Increase the base strike and then crit multi. Or I just increase... I'm just probably going to max out the flat damage of this. Because then that'll end up as 30 flat extra melee void. And then I'll make it shred void resistance. I can then add more charges. I don't need charges because I'm mostly using it for the void cleaving. Void rifts. The thing with a racing strike is that it does exponentially more damage because the void rifts, it spawns them if you kill enemies with it. So I may go down... yeah, I may go down here because it will basically make a triple slam, but it costs a ton of mana to do it. So I would need, what, like 180 mana to do a triple slam? Not only that, I would also need it for the Erasing Strike itself, so I would need like 210 mana to do 3 guaranteed echoes. But I wonder if they would all count as the crit, because that would be disgusting if it hit that. When a Racing Strike hits an enemy, it has a chance to create a Void Beam. I think I'm gonna focus on the flat damage, and then I might see if I can make it echo heavily. To see how many it would take. It did not get to explode then. Alright, here's another boss. He took that pretty well. He did not take the second one as well. Oh, that's faster boots. So that would be, what, 23% movement speed over my current, like, 15? Yes, please, I'm going to put them on. And down here, like these quick. So this is a necrotic damage area. So I'm going to probably see if I can put necrotic resistance here. I can't because its suffixes are full, but I can increase the move speed of the boots even more. Then that is 22% movement speed. Nice. Anything else on here I can add? Dodge rating and armor. I'm going to add a bit of armor to it. I'm going to shatter these boots. And I did get a movement speed shard, but I need to be level 29, but more on the boots. Okay. Out we go through the Warden's Road. Keep fighting and spinning. Hey, if you are enjoying the stream or just enjoying the build, or just enjoy the sound of my voice, please do consider following. It helps immensely, and that was a 6k damage crit. Oh boy. Because then I will reach affiliate with one more person following, and then I can get some more fun stuff on the stream and let you guys interact with it a bit more. We go. They're all gone. Slaughtered thralls. And away that assassin goes. Void strike to get rid of those. Oh, and the double slam from the echo. I wonder if the echoes can echo from the guaranteed erasing strike echoes. I feel like I've got my own echo after saying that word so many times there. Oh, we got some assassins. And they can't stand up to the void cleave. Keep going. Oh, it's fun just watching them try and follow after me. Oh, a small idol. Armor and fire resistance. I'm going to equip that. Leave. Goodbye. Oh, increase XP on kill. Very nice. Prison Lake. Next area. Perfect. Takes a hot minute to load. And here we go. Another shrine down here. Oh, and it's movement speed. Even better. Here we go. Oh, pair of unique boots. Storm Stride. Alright. Keep going. If I can't kill more with this last bit of the XP buff. I think that's about it. Oh, that's some percent increased health and cold resistance. Anything I want to replace that with? Not really. Yep, we'll unlock that. And there's another time portal here. I can't remember what we get from this. So actually, I am going to enter it. I think it might be another passive point, or it might be idle slots. Either way, they're going to be very useful to have. Alright, let's explore the Corrupted Lake. See, it's very interesting how they've done the level design of this game, because what they did was they took all of the same maps and they've altered them in such a way that it feels similar once you look and see the similarities and realize that it's pretty much a carbon copy of the same map, but it's so well decorated and they've changed so much with just how it looks. It feels like it's a new map. It feels like it's a new map every time. And that is genius. It's recycling at its finest, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. I mean, I've heard some people call that lazy game design in the past, but if anything, that's smarter. It means you don't necessarily need to add more assets per map that you bring in. You can just sort of use the same assets, tweak it, alter the lighting, and redecorate it. Alright, let's find whatever it is we need to be looking for down here. Don't even need to erasing strike sometimes. Gosh, does it clear a screen when I hit that W button. There we go. By boss mob. Let my mana regen just a touch. Vitality, dexterity, poison, and health. Let's take a look at these storm stride boots we got. We are shocked when we stop moving. We have a 170% chance to shock on a lightning hit, and it's like it's like what, 34% movement speed? That is actually not insignificant. All right, yeah, let's use these and spin even faster. Nice. Bye. Okay. Anything out this way? Anything we need to kill? There is a Prophet of Ruin down here that we need to fight. Okay. Oh, he's a big guy. Well, let's see if I can pull this combo off right. Wait for that to finish whatever it's doing. Ah, I messed up. Yeah, I didn't hit my W before I volatile reversaled. Oh, and a double fight, Idol of Loathing. What we fought that before. Oh well. Gonna get some mana back. And I did it right that time. Nice. I just need to get a little bit better at doing that combination. So, Void Cleave. Max distance traveled. Let's maximize that crit chance, and then probably maximize that crit multi. I think that's going to be the best thing for damage wise. And then Crushing Echo, 15 flat void damage per point. Good gosh, that does a lot of damage. Then I can make it. Crikey. I can make it Shred Void Res. I can make it cause Time Rot. I can give me a Ravaging Aura. Does spell damage over time, but I lose 5% current health per second. No thanks. I don't think I want that. Void Cleave hit shred armor, and armor shred has increased effect and duration. So I can basically just make it shred a ton of armor and slow. Oh, blimey! Yeah, this is going to be a good build. Right, next point. More damage, please. And let's go back to that Risen Lake. So it was idle point, so we can equip that health idol that we found. That. And let's continue with the story. We've got to find the outcasts here in the Risen Lake. Oh, legendary shield. Unfortunately, I am stuck to two-handers. They never leave my hand. Straight down. We'll hit on that thing and it's dead. And wisps. Goodbye, groups of enemies. Straight through. And we found the outcasts. Excellent. Anything in here? Nope. No shops, no nothing. Just smashing all of their pots, making as much noise as possible. Nothing could possibly go wrong here, right? What's wrong? Oh no, the undead have found us. What a surprise. Huh, I didn't do the crit. That was weird. Oh well. Let's go talk to her. Got some golden XP. And we now have a target. We've got to go to West Fatima. Or travel west to Fatima, not to West Fatima. Well, the names in this game are a tongue twister sometimes. Oh, there's a boss mob up here, and he is gone. Flash, and the boss is gone. Oh, now Racing Strike. And they're gone too. Oh, this is going well. Oh, an assassin, idol, more crit chance. Do I want to swap some stuff out for that? Not really. My idols are very defensive. Let's look at... Oh, I've just noticed that the Echoes are doing the Giant Slayer slash too. So they're performing the Giant Killer slash. That's going to be really useful, so I should probably stack that up. I definitely need to stack that up more then. If they do that, that means every time an Echo spawns and despawns, it's going to... Oh, every time an Echo spawns and despawns, it's going to do that slash and do a ton of damage. It's just a ton of bugs that we need to fight through. I'm assuming this is the way we need to go. I can't see a map here. Lots of enemies, though. Houses. Oh, that is a good feeling. Over a bridge? I haven't been back to this act since they made the game update, so I'm really not sure if they've added more maps in an interim, because I don't remember this one. More skeletons wielding axes. I'm just going to run through some of this. Is this... This can't be the right place. This is definitely a screen clearing build. Assign ring, hold, and endurance. I'll take that. But up here, anything? Skeleton houses. No. A logging operation. I'm just gonna gather everything up and not even worry about fighting it for now. What is all this? Is this just another spare map? The door? That doesn't look like it leads to the west theme. I'm gonna wait for everything to catch up to us, or lead this lot to it all. They didn't despawn, did they? Come on. Zigzagging is not working. Yeah, so they do return to their like point from a specific time if I go too far. Oh well. I got rid of everything except this one. And there it goes. So is this Fatima? Have they changed Soulfire Bastion? Oh no, I remember what this is. They said in the patch note they added a dungeon called the Soulfire Bastion. But you need keys to get into it. Ah, that's a pain. Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to just the Risen Lake. He just tells you about the Soulfire Bastion, I'm assuming. I wouldn't give you a key straight away if they say you need to find them or earn them. Alright. Oh, we're all the way back to the start. That's okay, we'll just spin. That's why you always look at your map marker and always follow where that goes instead of going and finding side areas that you can't even enter yet. Then again, it would be actually no. I'd probably be a much higher level if I had one of those Soulfire Bastion keys. It wouldn't have been too much of a challenge. Okay. Erasing Strike. Oh, very nice. Let's max out that obliteration damage. Yeah. Spinning through all this. Next skill point we get goes into Life Leech. Goodbye. And just keep spinning. So they put the door to that there, but they need you to go all the way around it. Oh man, that's tricksy. That's a tricky move, game devs. Level 30. All right. Point straight into Life Leech. Oh, I actually have a point as well. So a point into Life Leech and damage. Okay, let's see. What's up here then? Be the way to the Teamer. We keep spinning. Oh, that's a big one. Bye. Alright. We got our boss killer moves. We've got our chaff killing move. That's pretty much going to be it up until the end game. Just going to get better and better. We get faster, higher damaging, tougher. But more importantly, the echoes are going to start kicking in. I think, what is it, 32 I get to pick another skill? That's 35. So 5 more levels and I get to specialise in another skill. Cut straight through all these zombies. Those wisps are a little bit tougher than the zombies are. Skeletons fighting skeletons, eh? Fair enough. Oh, that's a boss mob. And it is dead. Or a rare mob, even. Not necessarily. Bosses and rare mobs, they're very distinct in this game. I just keep messing up what I'm calling them. Oh, increased stun chance and stun duration. Yeah. Oh, that's a wand. The alchemist spoon. Absolutely useless. There is 0 point for me to have even picked it up. It's shiny, and that's about it. Actually, it might be valuable. I could probably sell it. Value has it got? For 500 gold. May as well sell it for 500 gold. Oh, strength and added health. I'll take both of those. For your bone daggers. Nothing much else, really. Uh, elemental skeletons. Oh, Void Cleave leveled up. Very nice. So, do I max crit multi? I'm going to start picking up raw damage. With 5 points in that, a 75 flat damage being multiplied. Okay, we're in Imperial Fatima. That's a cool looking ship. Gull on the front? Okay. Find our way onto Harton's Dreadnought. Gonna follow the quest marker downwards and absolutely demolish any rare mob in the way. Otherwise, I'm going to ignore most of it because we're 3 levels above the area, just because of how much we've already gone and killed. Yes, the next couple of things I'm going to be putting points on. I'm going to be increasing the flat damage, getting Warpath to replace my mana. Skill-wise, or passive-wise even, I'm going to pick up more flat damage. Then I'm going to hopefully go into the Echo nodes as soon as possible. Because the more Echoes we get, the more, well, just the better. They do so much. Oh, shards. A large group. Got to get rid of that. Darkling Pier. Okay. See what's in the Darkling Pier. Probably more skeletons, to be fair. Seems like a theme of this act. That's not a crow, that's a seagull. Okay. Soul phylactery things. Man, that's dark. All the bodies in the harbour too. How creepy is that? Are they patrolling? They're patrolling. Interesting. Anyway, into the Imperial Dreadnought, we fight our way through the ship, And I'm guessing we got to fight this Harton fella at the top of it. So back to spinning. All right, more loot. That's a long metal stair. How tall is this shit? Ow. Oh, an affix shard. Grime. There we go. Kill those guys. Oh, I one-shot the soul cage with a crit void cleave. That's... I mean, okay. Not what I was expecting, but dang. I'm happy with it. Level 31. Now, do I pick up more... No, I'm just going to pick up more... Oh, wow. Ow. That started to hit me real hard. I get Time Rot. Dark Maw absorbs health when it triggers. What is Dark Maw? I have a chance to absorb health, or I can increase... I'm just going to increase my percent and get a guaranteed kill threshold. Because if I can instantly kill everything as soon as it hits 10%, I mean, it's basically just doing a massive amount more damage. You don't need to do the last bit. And bosses, I mean, end game bosses, you're talking about like what, 30k plus life you then don't need to do. I'm surprised the soul cage just stood there and didn't attack me. Maybe they needed handlers. Dreadnought deck. Okay. Oh, it's raining. That's a cool effect. Kill the skeleton chimeras. It's just not doing anything. Whoa! That just shot a beam. Didn't know they had lasers. That's the first time I've seen one actually do anything. Wow. Wraith binders. Okay. Hide gloves. A witch's pennant. No, thank you. I don't have minions and I don't cast spells. Well, not really. You can't account Erasing Strike as a spell. Straight through these Imperial Guards. It is flashing. I think that's meant to be lightning. It's raining. Lightning. And that is a giant enemy crab. Undead ghoul guy thing. The ship will be my tomb. I don't think so, pal. I don't think he can even really hit me unless he's doing these big AoE sort of things. My echoes just spawn and absolutely ruin him. Right back up to full. And goodbye. There we go. And he's dead. That wasn't a difficult boss fight at all. In fact, I think some of the earlier ones were harder. Okay. Talk to the blonde guy, and then we go for a swim in full plate armor. Why not? Not like we could take over the undead ship that's sailing places by itself. This is new art. This is fantastic. Whoever is on their art team is doing a great job. So let's talk to him. He's not happy because he's wet and soggy and salty. And we're going to go to Majelka. City of Sands. Scorpions. These aren't crows, they are seagulls. Necromancer seagulls. Then again, I suppose if you're a coastal necromancer, you do with what you have. Blain's the giant crab undead guy. That's just a regular giant scorpion. It's not even an undead scorpion. Yeah, we can still just absolutely erase them. Avoid essence on kill, and a chance to bleed while on high health. Okay. Can't go through there just yet. Yeah. So yeah, the larger idols that you get in this game start to do interesting effects based on your class. So I had on my hammer throwing uh, sentinel, same class as I'm playing now, except I went paladin, which is a different specialization. One of the items I kept looking for was idols that cause smite to cast whilst being hit by a thrown weapon. That meant when my hammer throw hit enemies, it cast smite on them for free. And why that was so good was that hammer throw has an ability in it that makes the hammers circle you, like classic Diablo 2 Paladin. And as they span around you, they could hit multiple enemies, and Smite did a small AoE, so it sort of became was a hurricane of hammers. I don't even know what that thing was, but it's dead. Dead again, I guess. Twice over. Straight up we go. We're going to ignore the giant scorpions. They are not our friends. Oh, more damage. Wipe them out with that. Rid of that. Oh, that survived. Wonder what would happen if I do this. Oh no, it doesn't get me. But it doesn't give me back the. Okay, so temporal or volatile reversal. And now we're working for a skeleton. Volatile reversal does not give me my 150% damage back if I use it. That's unfortunate, but I can completely understand why it wouldn't. Very strong. So the Wraith Dunes, or Dunes, because it depends on how you want to pronounce it. We've got to find Lost Nagasa gems. We'll just spin, following the blue sign. Statues that they were carving. Spots for statues. Gold weavers. These are giant, like big gem spiders. That's interesting. Well, let's just keep going. Anything that doesn't die in our way that isn't a yellow, going to ignore. Although we are the right level for the area. Okay, that's. I'm not going to ignore that stupid big chimera thing. They got snakes in the game now too. They're just a long noodle. Oh, brilliant! I love the enemy variety. I'm guessing this thing is. Yep, that's the boss we're looking for. Pass one of those. Just start smacking. Get out of its way. And there it goes. Dead. I guess that was the hidden gem I needed to get. But let's just run out of the area. Where is the exit? Sure, it's up. Yep, there it is. Up this way. See the gold one up there, but I can't. Ah, they're the same one now on when I expand the map. Got to run to regain some mana. Because Void Strike and Erasing Strike are real hungry. Been back through them once. Packs of blues are worth it for the XP. Huge Riot, Idol of the Bulwark, 6 seconds to Sigil of Hope and block effectiveness. I am actually going to plan on picking up Sigils of Hope. But first, I'm going to go up here and get some mana back. Warpath. The Sigils of Hope is down here in the Paladin line. And the reason I want it is because you actually can get void damage per active sigil. And it also turns the flat fire damage into flat void damage. So it's just a free damage boost, basically. You don't get health regen off it like the normal one, but you get more damage out of it. I think you can end up with like 6, and I think you can get them to autocast, but I can't remember what skill that did it. Alright, and here we are in Majelka. Grab the portal, and let's spin our way to these sapphire sigils that we need to find. And Erasing Strike is leveled up, and so have we. So let's pick up more damage and more culling. Got all of the damage I need in here now. Do I pick up the Void Shred? Highest threshold is used. I'm going to put 2 points down here for more percentage damage, because then I'm going to pick up Time Loop. Large Riot Idol. Void Rifts on kill and Shred Arm with throwing attacks. We don't use the throwing attacks. But may as well anyway. Alright, let's go north. Keep that going. Turquoise, that's a minion damage. Those are minion rings, don't need those. Ornate Solar Idol. Mana efficiency with void spells. Okay. I don't have void spells in use at the moment, so sadly that's not useful for me. That would probably be a pretty good idol otherwise, because it's also got reflection damage. I'm going to go down because this one looks like it was a little closer, and also the blue is just next to it. Yeah, that's here then, is it? Summons a twin at half health. It didn't even hit half health, it died before it. Alright, that's the green gem. Erase that mob out of existence in one hit. Oh, I love it. I love this build so much. Oh, more Void Cleave. More flat damage, please. That now does 1,600. So talked to the skeleton. They found out he was talking to us. We've now got our full kill threshold, and I can get. Where is it? Don't want any of those. Strike's not very useful to us. That gives me. I mean, I'm not really blocking any hits, and I'm not going to be taking much that blocks hits. But that would give me a 100% void damage increase, so I'm going to need to put some 4 points in either one of these. But I think it might just be this, because that's going to increase my armor and damage just as I go. Yeah, why not? It may look a little laggy occasionally. It is probably just me hitting volatile reversal and teleporting back to a spot I was at previously. And then next level, I'm actually going to slot volatile reversal. Wow, he just blinked. He got Thanos snapped. And here's the second one. Just spin right up to you. And goodbye. What's this? Hammer throw, forge strike. Don't use either of those. I'm going to completely ignore that. And keep running into the next area. Okay, what is... That's a big skeleton. A big spine. What is that out of? Like a dinosaur? Or a whale? Probably a whale, to be fair. They got huge skeletons. That does beg the question, why don't, like, necromancers and whatnot go and, like, fish up giant sharks and skeletons? Because they would be amazing. Like, you could just attach parts of them to other skeletons. You don't need to be like an all-natural skeleton, do you? But that does explain the weird chimeras. I didn't notice that when they die, their horns pop off. Okay. Get rid of that guy. Pick up all of these shards. Throw them all in the stash. Oh, that's a big soul cage. On two smaller ones. I am so glad I do a ton of damage with those two skills. Because that thing had like extra health on it as well. Not only do they go rampant, they just go. It's so much health stacking. I think it is percentile and then a second percentile rather than just combining the two as one. Perfect. Even more. Uh, even more shards. I will eventually, or probably never, actually use to craft with. There's a staircase going up there. The Void Slam Echo is real good because it copies my area too. Several ice beetles as allies. Okay. The mirrors. I'm gonna. There we go. Level 35. Let's clear this area out first. Oh, increase movement speed. I'm going to need to spec that. I'm just going to spec it And then I'm going to keep going just whilst I have the haste boost. Start putting the 4 points into there. More damage. Look how fast we spin on the spot. Oh, I'm out of mana. I think it's going to blow up. Yep, it just blew up. Alright, last bit. Hidden world. There we go. Take me through that portal, and then we have the next hub of the game. At least very temporarily. So, straight down here to the right-hand door. Spin to win. And through the rune passage into the Oracle's abode. Let's go. So, welcome to town. I've been going for about 4 hours straight now, so I am going to take a small break. And I'm going to continue streaming more Last Epoch after I do something to eat. But have no fear, the stream will be back. So if you tune back in, say in about an hour and a half, I should be back around. I'm going to drop these idols here and equip this one. Pick up this quest. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to take a small break. We have gone from Act 0 of the game all the way up to... I mean, what act is this? Oh, we're in the Imperial Era, so really it's Act 3. It's just a very long act, and it's a very, very good game. So this game was Last Epoch, so if you want to watch more or play more of it, I do recommend you pick it up. It is an early access, but multiplayer has just recently come out for it. It's probably one of the best ARPGs on the market in terms of what builds you can make, what skills you can use, the amount of diversity you can have in characters. They've only really got 5 classes, but they've all got at least 2 specializations that are fully fleshed out, a ton of abilities each that are very interesting and good to use. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I will catch you on the next stream, hopefully in a few hours. Otherwise, tomorrow. Have a great day.